Yes. So what happens in mines before? They didn't have any ventilation for the air to go out, and they didn't know what are the gases inside. In a mine, have you ever been to a mine, coal mine? Have you gone inside? You won't know. You will feel scared first of all. Going down is dark. There are no lights. Only you have a helmet light, and there will be small lights inside fitted. So when they're digging, you make tunnels inside to bring out coal, and while digging, there are gases. So much of gases inside the earth, isn't it? Under the lithosphere, under the crust of the earth. So you don't. How will you distinguish gas is there or not? What is there? Or should we work? Do we go deep? So they used to take these caged canaries with them, birds in a cage, to locate if there is any poisonous gas as methane or monoxide, carbon monoxide there. You can't breathe if methane is there and carbon monoxide. You can't breathe. You'll die. You'll feel uneasy. You'll feel sick. You have to run. So this to keep the bird inside. This to take the bird inside first with them, and this to make sure that the bird's activities, if it's jumping too much or making noise too much, it's feeling sick, it's trying to doze off, then quickly come out. There's something wrong with the air. There is no perfect oxygen is not there. There is to evacuate. Evacuate means clear out. Go away from them. Arrange for a ventilation so that those gases go out. Even though now there are modern techniques and all, but this canary caged bird is very famous. It gives the bird gives the exact amount instantly. That something is wrong inside, they come to know. Even a machine might fail giving you information, but this bird will not. So this is all about, it indicates that there is something wrong, the air is not correct. So if the air is not correct, if a bird is feeling uneasy, how will human beings work? That small little chinky little bird. So what does it mean to be a canary in a coal mine? Dangerous. A bird cannot speak, it's caged, it cannot do anything. People use it for their safety. But at the same time, it's helping so many people to live and to understand that there is something wrong inside. They don't leave the bird inside, they bring it out. So can you answer the question posted above? Posed above. So you can answer that. What does it mean to be a canary in a coal mine? Dangerous. Life and death matters. But at the same time, you are helping people. We'll read this first page today, and after that, I'll explain. To the best of my knowledge, there's been a regulation that forbids. To the best of my knowledge, there's never been a regulation that forbids one to keep pets in a space station. No one ever thought it was necessary, even had such a rule existed. I am quite certain that Sven Olsen would have ignored it. Forbid is bans. There's no place it's written that you cannot take animals in, but there must have been some rules. No one ever thought it was necessary that, oh, it's okay, we can take space stations, either it's underground or it's on top, it's totally closed area, that you are not allowed to take pets. I am quite certain that Sven Olsen would have ignored it. Even if there was a rule, he would have ignored it. So the writer is writing about this character Sven Olsen. We will come to know who is that. Arthur C. Clarke is the writer. Explanation I'll give later. With a name like that, you will picture Sven at once as a 6'6" Nordic giant, built like a bull and with a voice to match. Had this been so, his chances of getting a job in space would have been very slim. If you think of this man, that he didn't care. So you'll think that, oh, Nordic giant, Sven or Olsen, oh my god, he must be huge, 6'6" guy, tough, giant type fellow, like a bull and with a huge voice also to match that height and figure. Had this been so, if it would have been really of that character, this Sven Olsen, his chances of getting a job in space would have been very slim. Slim means very, chance was very little to get a job like that. Actually, he was very wiry. He was a wiry little fellow, like most of the early space travelers, and managed to qualify easily for the 150-pound bonus that kept so many of us on a reducing diet. Actually, he was a wiry little slim fellow, lean and strong. Wiry, he was strong, but lean, thin. Not, oh, Sven Olsen, that he did not care, so people think, oh my god, he must be a very tough guy. Like most of the early space travelers, he was like the early space traveler, and managed to qualify easily for the 150-pound bonus. That you will get a bonus of 150 pounds if you keep on this reducing diet of yours. If you don't eat too much, you will get a bonus of 150 pounds. So that's why they were lean and thin. You cannot be fat and lump and huge and go into the space. There has to be a specific weight. Sven was one of our best construction men and excelled at the tricky and specialized work for collecting assorted girders. As they floated around in free fall, making them do the slow motion, three-dimensional ballet that would get them into their right positions and fusing the pieces together when they were precisely dovetailed into the intended pattern. In the space station also there is no gravity. You are trained like that. So to make a space station you have to have no gravity there. So he was specialized in collecting the assorted girders, those iron bars, they are called iron girders. While floating, iron bars also floating, so he used to catch hold of them, get them as if there's some free ballet dance going on. Ballet is a form of dance, ball dance. Ballet, it's actually called ballet dance. It's not ballet, it's called ballet. You know, girls dance on their toes. They go around, they flip their legs and they all what they do as if it's very soft, as if they're not floating in the air. Ballet is like that. You dance on your toes. Making them around in free fall and making them do the slow motion three-dimensional ballet that would get them into the right position. You know, he's turning it around, twisting it that side and pulling it and bringing it in the right positions to join it together. He's making some frame and fusing the pieces together when they were precisely dovetailed into the intended pattern. Dovetail means when you fixed one into one each other in the right place, in the right section. It's called a dovetail. I never tired of watching him and his gang as the space station grew under their hands like a giant jigsaw puzzle. It was a skilled and difficult job, for a spacesuit is not the most convenient of garbs in which to work. However, Sven's team had one great advantage over the construction gangs. You see, putting up skyscrapers down on earth. They could step back and admire their handiwork without being abruptly parted from it by gravity. The writer was never tired watching these guys working. So efficiently they are working in the space station, where there's no gravity, they're making towers or something. They're making, as I said, there's some fabrication is going on to take it to the space. They're going to land something on space. It's like a jigsaw puzzle, we don't understand. Everything is flying around. Jigsaw is a puzzle, where you have so many pieces you have to join together to make it complete. It was a skilled and difficult job. But Swen's team had one great advantage over the construction gangs, putting up skyscrapers down on earth. They have made huge buildings, skyscrapers, huge building on the earth they have made, but now they are doing it on the moon, in the space. They could step back and admire their handiwork without being abruptly parted from it by gravity. They could move back and see their work also without being parted from gravity. They go to earth, there is gravity, so you can't go away from there. But here they are floating around. They could stand and watch their work in here. Here they are not able to stand and watch what is going on. So they have to go around also, float around. So we'll keep it till here. Next class, we'll come to know what was happening in this space station and where was this cannery. Okay? So we'll keep it till there, here, and after that I'll come and explain. First we'll read, and after that I'll explain the whole story, what is happening. So you'll get all your information from there. And I'll tell you something more about the author also. Okay? So till then, take care, be good, be safe, and read the chapter properly and try to solve the questions of the cycling part, going downhill on a bicycle. Okay? So take care, bye bye, and God bless.